Hey, there's your Wisconsin wine guy. Guess who's back? Part 2 of Chandon, Chandon Brut. Let's see, on Wine Wednesday, I did the Chandon Rosé, and I thought, you know what, it's brunch time. And I was experimenting, with some sparkling wine and some spirits. I did a gin too, but I just thought I'm going to set up here so it fits in the lens, right? Okay, so I experimented with some spirits, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and review this because I had an extra bottle and do a cocktail. Okay, so let's first talk about Chandon. Oh, also let me say this for those who are new. These are wines where you can find wherever you shop for wine, whether it be a liquor store, grocery store, or wine shop. I give them a taste and let you know what I think utilizing the thumb rating system. Infamous thumbs up. Recommend this wine. Pretty solid wine. Can't go wrong with it. All right, and 3/4. This makes an excellent everyday drinking wine. I would share it with my friends. I would bring it to a party. I would drink it at a party if it was there. Halfway, well, we know that something about that wine didn't work with my palate. But I will let you know why it didn't work with my palate. Doesn't make it a bad wine, but you taste it and let the rest of us know what you think. Thumbs down. Woo! I always wanted to spin. Thumbs down. Well, that's an easy one, right? Every now and then it's the infamous double thumbs up. Double thumbs up is an exceptional review, exceptional wine. A wine that I recommend that you age, sit on it for a while. I have quite a few of those, and I'm still trying to catch up on my purging. So bear with me. I got quite a few wines still to purge. Did I ever say that on purging, every year of the wines I have, every year is 10 years or more for some of my wines until I run out. So that's going to be pretty cool. So lots of wine to share with you in purge. So let's get to it. So Chandon, we all know Moet, or Moet Chandon, the champagne house in France. But then we know Chandon coming out of California. Now, out of Napa, to be more exact. Now, Chandon, as I've mentioned in the previous video, let's get this open. They have sparkling wine or champagne houses around the world now. So that is pretty cool that they are expanding or have expanded their brand to include other areas, such as Argentina, to produce some of their wines and sparkling wine. Did you know that Chandon also makes still wine? We don't think about Chandon and their still wines when we think about Chandon and the sparkling wine. So this is going to be a Brut. Now remember in the previous video I said there's a difference between the grape composition is the same. Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier. However, there's going to be less Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier in this one as compared to the Rosé. All right, so we're going to give this a little pour. I have a little glass here because I want to make sure I have enough for my cocktail. So I just want to give you a little bit of insight on this. Get a look at it so you can see the bubbles on this. Check out those bubbles. Isn't that beautiful? And these are my little sake flutes that I use. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to use the wine in this one today. I mean, that's just crystal clear. It has nice yellow hues going through it and nice tiny bubbles, right? And I like this little screw cap cork on here, to keep those bubbles fresh, but also it's easy to restore with this here. I like the half bottles. This is a 180. I like the 180s 375s. Single serve for me. If I'm having a couple of glasses to go at 375s. This is a single serve, and I managed to get quite a few glasses of this too because I only drink a little bit at a time. But it's perfect for having a wine or a sparkling wine for you to have for yourself. Cheers. Again, I said this is Brut. Definitely has good flavor to it. Citrus, sort of yeasty notes. Wow. I like to, have that aftertaste on my palate. I mean, definitely a clean, crisp, citrusy tasting. And I detect a little bit of like apple from this as well. Wow, not bad at all. Puts me in mind of a cider of sorts, right? But not bad at all. Let's get to the rating in this one. Thumbs up. I've always been a fan of Chandon, been a fan of the Moet Chandon, the Hennessy brand. Just always been a fan of these wines, and this doesn't disappoint, for an everyday drinking, go-to type of sparkling wine. Chandon. You can find this again. I'll put the price in anywhere from $5.99 to $9.99, depending on what your store carries or sells it for. So let's move on to the cocktail. So as I was having brunch today at home and playing around with different spirits and different mixes, you know, with different things, I said, wow, this is pretty cool. So this is going to be like a combination. I'm only going to use one of these spirits. I'm not going to use both the vodka and this is a local vodka. You know, Tin Head vodka right here in Wisconsin, made from whey. Okay, we gotta do something with the whey that comes from the cheese, all the cheese we make here, so we make spirits out of it. All right, so Tin Head vodka, there you go. And then I have the Honduras tequila, but I'm gonna do the vodka today. So this kind of came from having just a classic type margarita cocktail, to having a tequila sunrise, to having a French 75 I had earlier, and to having a screwdriver. You know, as I started mixing things up here, you know, like, wow, you know, when you're having fun and you drink, you just kind of just go for it, right? And that's what I did. So I'm going to share with you what I did earlier with this. Let's get some ice in the mixer. All right, 1 cube and 3 cubes ice in the mixer. I'm going to put in a little bit of orange. Okay, get that chopped up here. All right, and then with that, I'm going to double the recipe. Well, I'll just do a single recipe. All right, 2 ounces of my orange juice here. What is my ounce here? Okay, let's make sure I don't go overboard with it, right? Where are we at? All right, 2 ounces of my orange juice. And now from there, we're going to do our control. I'm going to go an ounce of this. You know, you just make this up as you go. And that's the great, the fantastic thing. It's going to be a sparkling cocktail. You just make it all up as you go. You experiment, and some experiments work out and some don't. This one, to me, earlier, did pretty good. And then I'm going to do the vodka. So this is going to be my Tin Head vodka, made right here in Wisconsin from Cheeseway. I'm going to do an ounce of that too. Boom. Okay? So the Contru takes that place of the simple syrup. You could also just use simple syrup if you like to do that instead. You know, so that works just fine. And now let's give it a shake. Get that nice and mixed. Here's my cup here. All right. Let's pour that in the glass. Isn't that beautiful? Now, here's the kicker. Now we top this with our sparkling wine. So it's almost like a mimosa. There's all of that going on. All of that, all of that, all of that. Here's our orange garnish. I'm going to pop that right inside. And then I have a cherry to go in there. And there you have it. I don't even have a name for this, so help me name this cocktail because it's a combination of so many different things. But the proof is in the taste. Get out of the stir. And now, here we go. Mmm. Wow. The balance that I have here is just fantastic. You know, you don't take, it's not overly sweet because you got a little sweetness in orange juice. This is a freshly squeezed orange juice. I squeezed some orange juice earlier. So freshly squeezed orange juice. But then you have the Contru in there too, but it doesn't, it's not over sweet because you have that Brut, you have the bubbles. It's just very nice, very simple. I'm digging it. I'm enjoying it. Hopefully you will too. I'll put the recipe down below. And again, you can substitute this with gin, with vodka. With gin probably be nice because there's a lot more flavors in gin. All right, so it's your Wisconsin Wine Guide saying as always, let your palate be the guide when selecting your sparkling wine and making your cocktails. I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll see you next time. Ciao! Cheers!